Ah, shit. Here we go again.
So I was trying to play No Man's Sky on the PS5 the other day when the PlayStation Network went down, locking me out of digital PS5 version that I was using. And it got me thinking. It got me thinking about the fact that we've slowly seen more and more anti-consumer business practices enter the gaming market, and gamers as a whole have done nothing to stop it. They said they would, and I'm sure some did try, considering I'm refusing to buy any games that have reached the $70 mark. I doubt I'm the only one. It might even be why we've seen such an indie dev boom with hits like Lethal Company and Mouthwashing. But the fact that I realized, I don't own any of my games is kind of scary and disappointing, and made me think about the future. When PlayStation 5 servers inevitably get shut down, I don't think the rest of us will be able to play any of the games we bought digitally. At least with an old Windows desktop game, you could still play it if you were able to find a solution to getting it to run, like with MechWarrior 4 or 3, as an example. The very same for Steam as well. What happens when Steam, as unlikely as it is to happen, were to go bankrupt? I know offline mode would probably still run, but we wouldn't be able to download our bought games anymore. We would have to download all our games in advance of the situation, while some console people end up straight up being unable to play their games that they bought with their hard-earned cash to relax. On top of all of that, there are people out there advocating for the increase of game prices again, just like we saw before the $70 spike. I'm sure this time will stop them, right? I suppose for the benefit of the doubt, I should probably research the reasons for this want, but naturally, I'm looking at this from the consumer first perspective. The point IGN here states that the price increase we saw in the beginnings of back in 2023 was justified under the point that games are actually much cheaper now than they were back then, just adjusting for inflation. The issue I have with this is at this point, games are just data. You're paying for data that you can use as an entertainment medium to occupy yourself and to spend time with your friends if you have any. That means an adjustment for inflation could be argued as artificial, as digital content does not play under the same rules as eggs at the grocery store. There's no supply and demand. For example, an in-demand game back when things were on disc would often get out into the world that quickly sells, and the leftover copies go up in price. The very same for other disc games. Have you seen the price for that old Godzilla PS4 game? That's the result of scarcity. Digital products like music, games, and movies do not have a production cost anymore, at least for their data containers. Another thing that's believable is that game production, the cost of making games itself, has gone up. This I actually believe has some merit to it. The games industry is a lot bigger than it was during 1990 or 2000. This is shown in the IGN article itself. The fact that Assassin's Creed 2 had 450 people working on it versus the over 1,000 people said to be working on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But I have to ask, since the production of games has really gone up in price, or is it just unneeded bloat and the same tired talking points from people who are paid off by these bloated companies? The people at From Software, for example, at the time of Elden Ring and Armored Core 6, they had 300 devs. Just 300. Valve, another corporation with a positive image as far as corporations go, is estimated to have only 350 total employees. I don't know much about economics, but it seems to me that the companies cited in this IGN article are grossly inefficient with their money and are definitely bloated. Elden Ring, take it with a grain of salt, was estimated to be around $200 million in its cost. They also kept the $60 price tag for both AC6 and Elden Ring. Elden Ring Nighterrain is even cheaper. They take into account the production of games' overall cost has gone up too, but they ignore the fact that reach of games as a whole has vastly increased as well too. The customer base is massive now. According to the snippet of a Screen Rant article, Assassin's Creed Valhalla made $1 billion. And here on Wikipedia, it says it sold more copies during its first week of release than any Assassin's Creed game before. Once more, proving they have a far larger fan base than they did back when Assassin's Creed 2, showing they can still make money. Anyways, the point is they don't really need to increase the price of games to maintain a profit. They need to get rid of some of their excess fat. With the amount of money they made off of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, they could make 2 games of equal cost and sell it for the same price again. With that kind of money, they could make 4 different games equal to Elden Ring's theoretical cost. Heck, No Man's Sky has been quietly making more and more money with itself with no paid DLC or microtransactions. They still use the fear of missing out with the expeditions, but it's still actively being updated with more and more content for free. With the excuses the games industry is making for the price hikes we see, No Man's Sky itself should not be able to continue its development because they wouldn't have the funds. What No Man's Sky did was amazing, and I think devs could definitely use their system to avoid this supposed price hike that they need to break even. Of course, they need to avoid the terrible launch No Man's Sky had. What they should be doing is reducing the bloat of their company, not upping the prices of the games they show. Baldur's Gate 3, 2 actually had their dev team scale up to make it, and they were not even close to the more than 1,000 devs they had to make the AC Valhalla. So it really does look like the examples they're citing as to why they are having issues is that there are too many cooks in the kitchen. They had 400 devs to make Baldur's Gate 3, the game of the year in 2023. Why would all these amazing companies have such low dev counts if they were some of the best games on the market? It just doesn't make sense with the complaints they're making. But then again, I am looking at this from a consumer's perspective. I am not one of those dudes giving the devs. I do have barely any money. I'm the one they exploit for money. So, what do you guys think? Did I miss something important, or am I right about this? I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Hello, Luna.